In the last lesson, I talked to you about the importance of knowing the parabola stuff. So this one's in standard form. Make sure you're okay with them, and if not, you ask questions. Don't forget to find h. You do negative b over 2a, and I'll write that down in case you forgot. H is negative b over 2a. You need to find that to do almost all of these. We're going to finish out the factoring stuff for quadratics today. And I talked about the fact that as long as you can find a GCF, you should be good to go. But today's stuff won't have a GCF. If you take a look at the first one, 2x squared plus 11x plus 12, the 11 is not even. So you can't take a 2 out. If the 2 were not in front, it'd be something you're more comfortable with. But because there's a 2 there, you don't really know how to factor it. So this is what I call guess and check. And we're going to kind of undo the FOIL thing. So whatever it starts with, in this case a 2x squared, break its factors apart. That means it was a 2x and an x. It's the only way you get a 2x squared. So now what I want to do is find factors of 12 that when I place them and I multiply these two and these two, they would add to an 11x. So I'm going to show you what I mean by guess and check. If I put a 3 here and a 4 here, the inside terms give me 3x, 3 times x is 3x, and the outside terms give me 8x. So I just so happened to guess right the first time. This is my final answer. But I want to show you what happens if you don't guess correctly. Had I had 2x and then I put a 4 first, and then an x plus 3 second, when I do the inner terms, I get 4x. When I do the outer terms, I get 6x. Adding a 4x and 6x gives me 10x. It wouldn't give me the 11 they wanted in the middle. So we call these guess and check because for most of you, it's easier to guess and check. So take a look at the next example. I'm looking for factors of 6 that when I place them in parentheses and I do the inner terms and the outer terms, it gives me a negative 7x. Now, factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. And it's a positive 6, so I know the signs are negative. Signs are probably going to be the trickiest part to this. So I'm just going to randomly guess 1 and 6. I get a 1x for my inner product and a 12x, I ran out of room, for my outer product. That will never give me a negative 7, so I guessed wrong. If you guess that wrong, you can try switching them. Make this a 6 and make that a 1. The inner product is 6x and the outer product is 2x. I'm still not going to get a negative 7, so it's not 1 and 6. Let's try 3 and 2. I'm going to try 3 here and a 2 here. My inner product is 3x. My outer product is 4x. Both negative. I've been ignoring signs, but that's how you get the negative 7. So my answer is 2x minus 3, x minus 2. Pause the video to do the you try it. So now they're going to tell you to factor completely. This is putting absolutely everything together. Remember, your first job is to look for a GCF. In number 1, I see a GCF of x, which leaves me with a 3x squared plus 20x plus 8. I have to try to factor this further. So I'm going to leave the x out front and see if I can factor this. It's going to have to be a 3x and an x. I'm going to place factors of 8. So if I try, I'm actually going to switch to my magic pen so that it kind of erases itself. If I try a 4 and a 2, I get 4x and 6x. That's not 20. Okay, so let me try, instead of 4 and 2, why don't I try 2 and 4? It gives me 2x and 12x. Still not going to give me 20. Okay, new factor pair. So 4 and 2 don't work. Let's try 1 and 8. 1x and 3 times 8 is 24x. No, that won't give me 20 either. So the only other choice I have is an 8 and a 1. So I get an 8x for the inners and a 3x for the outers. That doesn't work either. If it comes to the fact that none of them work, your final answer is the part where you just took out the GCF. At the very least, factoring out a GCF is factoring. All right, number 2, numerically, number-wise, I can take a 2 out of everybody, and I see I can take a y out, which leaves me with a 2x squared minus 13x plus 20. Divided everybody by 2y. Okay, I'm going to see if I can factor this 2x business a little further. All right. Remember, I'm looking for factors of 20 that will give me 13. So factors of 20 could be 4 and 5. So 4x and a 10x. Oops, sorry about that. 10x, well, that's 14. That's not going to work. Okay, let's try 5 and 4. That's a 5x and an 8x. Oh, there's the negative 13 I was looking for. That one factors further. Okay, I need it to be a minus 5 and a minus 4. Let me repeat why that works. This gives me a negative 5x. This gives me a negative 8x. And together, I get negative 13x that I'm looking for. Don't forget in your answer, if you just circle what you have now, you've forgotten the GCF, just pull that out front. Pause the video to do the you try it.